My name is Katherine Chambers, and I'm Project Reach's LGBTQIA program coordinator. I come from a Bengali Muslim background, and I'm a transgender woman. So, if you want to really kind of imagine my family, in the sense that kind of are the stereotype. I grew up the oldest male, and all of the things that come associated with that from the culture that my parents knew and learned and lived.
Catherine says that up until high school, she was not vocal about her gender identity, but there were signs of feminine attributes early on.
I grew up essentially wanting to do all the things that in my family I saw the female family members do. And again, my family is pretty strict and rigid about everything. It was so much so that, like, if I were to play with things like pink crayons and things like that, it was just instantly shamed, and I wouldn't, like, it was essentially not allowed. And they were the only world I knew, and I was legitimately terrified of losing them.
Catherine's parents used to rely on her to translate everything in the family, since they do not speak English well. But after she was ostracized in the household, her role has changed.
My relationship with my parents now is pretty much non-existent. I stay here at Project Reach most of the time, or I just have a lot of work to do and I go home really late in order to sort of avoid, I guess, having any confrontation with my family. With my transition, my dad, I guess, in a sense, was super shamed by the family.
Bengali community is one of the fastest growing in the city, and more than 80,000 call New York their home.
The community is really all about reputation and your power and influence. And to have a trans child is like one of the most shameful things, apparently.
Project Reach was founded in 1971 in Lower East Side to help victims of Chinese gangs, but it has grown into a place to serve marginalized youth citywide, including transgender.
So Catherine would oftentimes tell me that her mother's place was in the kitchen, and that was it. Kind of a limited life, and so it was, I think, a little disconcerting to her family when she decided that she wanted to be female, and I think it probably challenged all the values that they ever held.
I think I have a number of people who are really great at trying to support me and trying to help me not, I guess, break apart. Like my boss, Don, my psychiatrist, who's more like a friend than just a psychiatrist.
So Kat and I have kind of spoken about the hardship that she was going through and kind of how that affected her. So kind of the hate and the neglect that she was feeling from her family, the fact that they didn't accept her as Kat, they still accepted her as their little boy or what they knew her as before.
Shabab Mirza, an LGBTQ researcher in Washington, D.C., says that family can be a fluid concept for transgender people.
A lot of us who've experienced abuse in our families of origin, there can be a lot of trauma. Maybe we don't want to go back. Maybe we don't want to go back right now, but we'll go back later. Maybe we don't want to go back ever. And a lot of LGBTQ South Asian people have that experience. Having said that, right, family can be beyond just families of origin in the nuclear family. Maybe it's friends who look like us and speak like us. Maybe it's chosen family that we can speak the same language with, right? So in that regard, in that much broader, more nuanced definition of family, it matters to all of us.
Coming out was definitely probably one of the best decisions I ever made because I don't know how to explain, like, being in the closet. To be quite honest, it's, I think in a sense, it's like holding a grenade and not knowing when it's gonna explode. It really is just a lot better to be able to exist as me than having to exist as someone else entirely. I think in a sense, I gained some of my own lens. Like, I finally got my pair of glasses that I need, and things are clearer. Otherwise it'd be like, oh my god, I'm super blind.
Catherine says that coming out as a Bengali trans has made her taking nothing for granted in life. Her parents declined to comment.
I know for as long as I live, I'm probably going to be someone who tries to challenge everything and question pretty much everything. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Who knows? It's up for all of you to decide.